There we go. So he moves around quite happily. Right, the next thing to do is to give him something to move around in. So at the moment he's just got a tray to move in, and we've got lots of models here. And if we just take the environment, we can add models to the environment. Let's back up here. Okay. There's Buster. Let's put something in. So if we drag anything, let's put a haunted house in. So we just put it into the environment. Okay, make sure it's right here. There we go. Haunted house. And we can position it wherever we want it to be. It looks like it's in the ground at the moment. So we'll just move it up. Okay. And because with this haunted house, I have identified that we want colliders, but not cameras. Okay, so we should find now that as we play, we can go up to the haunted house, but it's still floating, I think. But we can't. We can't get through it because it's a solid object. Right, I'm just going to increase his rotation speed a bit more because he's a bit slow moving around. Let's make that 30. Okay, that's much better movement. Now this landscape is not looking terribly spooky, is it? It's broad daylight. So we're going to change a few things about the world that he's living in. I'm just going to go into that a bit closer. Bring it down slightly. Right there, it's landed on the ground. That's good. So we're going to change things about the camera. Oh, and one thing about the directional light. So it's a bit bright, isn't it? So I've got my directional light here, and I'm going to change the color somewhat. So I'm going to make it more evening. Nighttime, yeah, that looks pretty good. So it's a nighttime. Right, it's even darker. Lovely. And we don't really want a bright sky there. So the camera. So we won't have a skybox there. We'll have a solid color. And our solid color we can choose here. Make it even darker. Right. That looks good. Let's see what that looks like in the real game. Right. It's definitely looking more spooky now. I mean, if you wanted to, you could replace the skybox with your own lighting, with your stars, I mean. Okay. Right. So one thing you get at night time, of course, are lights. So let's go back up to the environment, and we'll add in there a child. This is part of that. I would call this lighting. Okay, and we can add a light. Lights, and we'll make this a point light. Right, there's our point light, and should we put it inside the house? So I'm using this widget to control the position of the lights. Right, and we can change the color of the light. Make this a sort of yellowy light, and we can change the just got a little warning there, and you can see that. You can see the light getting brighter inside the house, shining through the windows, but not too much. Okay, let's have a look at that. Okay, it's getting to look a bit spookier now, isn't it? Right. The other thing I've given you is a lamppost. Let's put a lamppost in. I'll put the lamppost, say. Let's position that lamppost. It seems to be in the wall. Bring it forward. Right, so what's missing from that lamppost? A light. So I can put a light in there, and I shall make that light part of the lamppost. So I'm going to select that, and then I can add in another point light there. And we can put in the light. Yeah, we can make that a yellow one. Okay, so that point light is going to be a child of the lamppost. Now, I haven't put in a collider on the lamppost because we can put a nice simple one on there. So I've got the lamppost here. I'm going to add a component, and I'm just going to make a simple box collider here. Edit. It actually goes around the lamppost. Okay, so there we've got a lamppost, and what I'll do so that we can make more lampposts with lights is to turn it into a prefab. So let's create a prefabs folder here. And we'll put that lamppost into the prefabs. Right, that means we can add more lampposts from the prefabs folder now, wherever we want them to be. And they'll come equipped with lights. Right, let's just check it. So we've got one lamppost there, and another one there. Ooh, floating lamppost. How exciting is that? Yes, we can put it on the ground. Alright, so this needs to be part of the lighting. So what I'll do is I'll drag these into the lighting section. Okay, so we keep things nice and neat. So we can put the directional light in there as well. We can now even make the directional lights a bit darker. There we are. So now it's really gloomy. And as you can see, as we pass under the lampposts, we get light. Okay, what's left now to do is just to add more models into our scene so that we create our spooky village. Right, let's see how you do. Just keep adding things in, move them around, and then just check moving around the things. Okay, let's save that.